In other news, the FBI is under fire for a new report of misconduct and plain politics surfaces. The 1,000-page report issued by House Republicans this morning calls FBI leadership corrupt, unaccountable, and rotten at its core. The document will serve as a roadmap for more congressional hearings, that is, if GOP wins control of the House. And joining us tonight to discuss this more is Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. Mike, let's get right to it. Some very strong words from House members, and the report goes on to accuse the FBI of this report of domestic extremism for political purposes. What can you tell us about this?
Attorney General Merrick Garland has politicized and weaponized the Biden Justice Department, including the FBI. We saw the Attorney General sent the full force of the Biden Justice Department after every Trump supporter who trespassed and took selfies on January 6th in the Senate, but they gave amnesty to BLM and Antifa rioters who destroyed American cities, went to war on the police, attacked the White House, attacked the Portland federal courthouse, killed dozens, caused billions in damage. We saw Garland giving amnesty to abortion advocates who were harassing and intimidating, obstructing justice outside of Supreme Court justices' homes that led to an assassination attempt against Justice Kavanaugh, his wife, and their two teenage daughters. At the same time, they're refusing to prosecute abortion advocates who are firebombing Catholic churches, crisis pregnancy centers. We cannot have two systems of justice in America. And when Republicans take over the House, they need to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland and FBI Director Chris Wray accountable. They need to impeach them for politicizing and weaponizing the Biden Justice Department. And I'll tell you, if Republicans win back the Senate, my former boss, Chuck Grassley from Iowa, will become the Senate Judiciary Committee chairman again, and he will become Merrick Garland's worst nightmare.
Well, let me ask you this. How unusual is a report like this? I mean, lawmakers don't often have 1,000-page reports about other government agencies about this. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, and remember, this report was done while Republicans are in the minority in the House and Senate where they don't have subpoena power. So just imagine what the American people are going to learn when Republicans take over the House and Senate, and Chairman Chuck Grassley and Chairman Ron Johnson, who will take over the permanent subcommittee on investigations in the Senate, along with House Republicans, have subpoena power. They're really going to get to the bottom of this. The FBI, the Justice Department more broadly, is rotten to the core, and we cannot sustain a country when we have a Justice Department that has been so politicized and weaponized against President Biden's enemies.
Yeah, I mean, the FBI has they have the right to be able to speak to members of Congress, but do you see this report having any sort of impact on future whistleblowers within the Bureau?
Well, I'll tell you that my former boss, Chairman Chuck Grassley, has been a champion for FBI oversight and for whistleblowers for decades in the Senate. So I would strongly encourage any FBI agents who has misconduct they want to report, go to Chuck Grassley's office. He will ensure that you are protected and your whistleblower allegations are taken very seriously.
Well, let's switch gears a bit. You know, we know that we're also following big tech and the censorship of what's happening there. But what's your take about Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter and the moves that he's made so far?
I think Elon Musk is great. He's doing the right thing. He knows it's a bad investment. He's doing it because he truly believes in free speech around the world, and he's going to come into some very strong forces. One of these forces he's experiencing now is advertiser boycotts, where these left-wing radicals are going to Volkswagen and GM and other companies and pressuring them to pull ads away from Twitter because Elon Musk wants too much free speech, and the left can't tolerate free speech because their ideas are so bankrupt. So that's one way. Elon's trying to fix that by having people pay an $8 a month subscription, so Twitter is not so dependent on advertising dollars. It could be more dependent on its own users, and so we're not the commodity anymore. That right now, big tech sells us as the commodity to advertisers. If we pay subscription fees every month, we're no longer the commodity. And I would also say the bigger problem is we have to break up big tech. We saw what happened to Parler. Google and Apple will collude to kick Twitter out of the App Store duopoly, and Amazon will kick Twitter off the internet if Elon Musk does not do their censorship bidding. So it is critical. There is a rare closing bipartisan window of opportunity right now this year where we can finally hold big tech accountable. There are bills moving through the House and the Senate. Republicans and Democrats need to get on board with these bills so we can finally take the critical first steps to breaking up big tech.
Well, I got to tell you, Mike Davis, we continuously follow this up on Capitol Hill, but we want to thank you for your insight. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.